Good morning, everyone. Today, our topic is quantity expressions. What is quantity expression? Expressions of quantity tell us how many or how much of something there is, such as much, many, a few, a little, a lot of, or lots of. We cannot use numbers before uncountable nouns, but we can use quantity expressions. Explanation of expressions of quantity. Expressions of quantity modify a noun, describe the amount or number of something, and are used with count nouns or non-count nouns, means countable nouns or non-countable nouns. They are used to express a positive idea. For example, I read all the inbox messages. All is giving a positive idea that something has been done. Or a negative idea. I read none of the inbox messages. So, none of the is a negative expression telling us that nothing has been done. It has not been done. Now, before we proceed, you need to understand what are countable and uncountable nouns. Nouns can either be countable or uncountable. Countable nouns can be counted, as it is evident from its name. For example, an apple, two apples, three apples, etc. Now, uncountable nouns cannot be counted. For example, air, rice, water, they all come in uncountable nouns. Look at this example. There is a or an with a countable noun if it is singular. There is a car. Or use some plus uncountable noun. For example, there is some water. So these are the examples of countable and uncountable noun. Examples of uncountable nouns. In materials, wood, iron, glass, and paper, they are uncountable nouns. You cannot count them. Fluid, water, petrol, milk, coffee. There are other fluids as well, but these are some few examples for you. In food, butter, bread, cake, sugar, rice. And in abstractions, time, beauty, hope, faith, etc. There are many other uncountable nouns as well, but these are some of the basic examples that are being shared with you. Little and many. Let's see the rules of little and many. Little. We use a little with non-countable nouns like rain, snow, pollution, etc. A little rain, a little snow, or a little pollution. We cannot use a little with countable nouns. On the other hand, many. We use many with countable nouns like people, car, chairs. For example, there are many people in the auditorium. There are many cars on the road. We cannot use many with countable nouns such as food. For example, a bowl of soup. I cannot say many soup. Similarly, with drinks, a cup of water, a cup of tea, a glass of milk, a bottle of water. So, with tea, milk, and water, I cannot say many tea, many milk, or many water. Coming to measurements, an hour of, half a kilo of, millimeters of. Similarly, with measurements, I cannot say many. And others, an item of clothing, a piece of advice. So we cannot say many clothing, many advice. So now this is countable versus uncountable nouns. If you look at this given table, you can see the comparisons between expressions that can be used with both countable nouns and uncountable nouns and the expressions that cannot be used in both. Now the first one, a lot of. A lot of can be used with countable nouns as well as uncountable nouns. For example, a lot of books, a lot of rice. Similarly, plenty of books, plenty of rice. Some books, some rice. Now, when you use a few in countable nouns, a few books, I cannot say a few rice. So, for uncountable nouns, you use a little rice. Several. Several is used for items that are three or more than three. So this is evident that it can only be used with countable nouns because they can be counted to three or more than three. While for uncountable nouns, we cannot use several. Similarly, a couple of books. Couple is used for two. That comes under counting. So this expression can also not be used for uncountable nouns. If we go to now negative expressions, we haven't got or there aren't a lot of books, a lot of rice. Now, if we are using many for countable nouns, we will use much for uncountable nouns. We haven't got in many books. We haven't got much rice. Any is also used for negative expression, which means zero. Any books, any rice. These expressions can also be used in questions. For example, are there any books? How many books are there? Or is there any rice? How much rice is there? Now, these are some of the quantity expressions of food and drinks. A bottle of milk, a glass of water, a jug of water, a cup of tea, a packet of tea, a jar of honey, a loaf of bread, a slice of bread, a carton of milk, a can of Coke, a bottle of Coke, a bowl of sugar, a kilo of meat, a bar of soap, a bar of chocolate, a piece of chocolate, a piece of cheese, a piece of furniture. Quantity expressions of measurement. For length, we use a meter of, an inch of, a centimeter of, and for weight, we use a kilogram of, a gram of. For time, we can use an hour of, half an hour of, a minute of, a second of, and for volume, we use a liter of, a milliliter of, etc. Now, other quantity expressions. A pane of glass, a blade of grass, a bale of hay, a glimmer of hope, a piece of jewelry, a bolt of lightning, or a flash of lightning. Both are used for lightning. A stroke of luck, a pile of money. Now, for news, there are three things that can be used, three expressions that can be used: a bit of news, a piece of news, an item of news. A drop of rain, a ray of sunshine, a pinch of salt means very little. A bar of soap, a tube of toothpaste, a ball of wool. I hope this topic was clear to you. Go through all the expressions of quantity given in this video as well as in your books, and then do the exercises given in your student book as well as your workbook. Thank you.